Hi there. Welcome to Sending Ravens. I've got a special guest again, my friend Ashley, who's
Hello.
also a work colleague. We work together at Ashley Sage Spa. That's where I do my readings for my local clientele. Today we wanted to look at court cards because they're much misunderstood.
It's true.
Yeah, court cards need to be understood in a deeper way than usually the way they're read. And what we wanted to especially look into is in regards to archetypal relationship type, like what is a person's personality like to date? What would they be like sexually? What would they be like, you know what I mean, to kiss or whatever. Things like that, more personal ways to read them. Right? So that's what we were wanting to look at. So to me, archetypal would be like what kind of hat you're wearing in a certain situation. Like a person's archetype in their workplace might be different than in a relationship. Maybe they're very different people in their workplace or their daily routines than they are in a love relationship. So we're going to be talking about the court cards archetypally in a relationship. So say you were doing a reading on somebody's love life and a future partner was coming in and it came up as, for instance, it came up as the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups being a cup. So
more emotional, openness.
Yeah, maybe even a water sign.
Sensitivity.
Yeah. And the Knight of Cups usually is considered up to about 35 years old.
Yeah.
So if you were talking about a relationship with a woman over 35, you might say, well, a younger man is coming in or a younger person. If you're asking, if a man is asking the question and the Knight of Cups comes, a young person is coming into their life, maybe younger, if they're older than 35. Now, say a person was asking about a specific relationship with someone who is actually known to be over 35. So now say they're 48 or something and they're already in a relationship and this card comes up, the Knight of Cups, to describe them. What do you think that might mean, Ashley?
They're definitely portraying like an energy that's a lot younger, a lot more vibrant, not associated with their age group, shall we say.
Right. So now right away it gives you a clue that they might be a little bit immature. There's a little bit of immaturity because somebody over 35 should be coming up as a king by then. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's interesting, right? So what you want to really understand is when you're laying the card out, are we talking about somebody older than the person, younger than the person? So if it's actually about a specific person, okay, it's important to know that, okay, so you know how to read the card, okay? Because say a person over 30 gets the Page of Cups, and that would be what they would be like. Because a lot of my clients ask, and I bet you get this too, Ashley. Clients do ask, what would this person be like sexually, or what would they be like emotionally, right? And if you got a page for a person and the person was, in their 30s or 40s, now you got some immaturity there because a page is so young.
Or maybe like childish actions, not really as sexual because they're just not in that mind frame.
Right.
I would even
naive around emotional in this case because cups are emotional, or possibly literally naive sexually, things like that. But if you're getting a king for a really young fellow or could be a woman. Women can come up as kings as well, by the way, and women can come up as any of the pages. So when we're saying men, women, we mean either one, by the way. Right? We mean either one. Okay. So say you get the King of Cups coming up for a much younger person under 35. So now we're talking maturity levels. So I've seen that even teenagers described as kings and queens. Yeah, so maybe we're talking like a real old soul type. So it's so interesting, right? And people get really stumped. They're like, oh, I don't know how to read this, right? Yeah. I've seen readers and they don't know how to read it. And it's important to note, maybe it's talking about the level the person's at, right? Around romantically. Let's go through the suits.
Okay.
Starting with swords. Yeah. Do you want to school us on swords?
Give us a little rundown of the swords. Well, swords usually represent the words, intellect, what else would be an
element of air?
Yeah, the air signs.
Air signs, so Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So possibly that's what we're talking about. Like it depends if you asked what was their person's birth sign. right?
Yep.
And they're a little aloof.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they can be a little detached and not so in touch with their feelings. They're even considered the nerds of the deck, right? Potentially, right?
Yeah.
They love to talk. They love intellectual stimulation. So they're the type who might really be intrigued by somebody verbally, or even like to talk dirty and things like that, right? Yeah. So there's ideas that come up with these, right? Yeah. So swords. So they're more mentally stimulated, verbally stimulated
than emotionally or physically,
right? Yeah. Right. And then the pentacles, whole different story there. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. Earthy, right?
Definitely.
Sensual,
touch, fabrics.
Touchy-feely, and they need lots of snuggles and hugs.
Yeah.
Right? And they could be more sensual, less sexual. And that's interesting to note, because wands are the sexy ones. And there's a different, like sensual and like sexual is very direct. Sensual is more snuggly and kind of lets things go however they naturally want to go, kind of thing, right? So these wand cards are kind of intense, passionate kind of energy, because it's fire, the element of fire. So the earth element, so Tauruses, Virgos, and Capricorns, yeah, and fire.
The Aries, Leo,
You're
and
a fire.
Sages.
She's a fire, yeah. So Aries, Leo, Sag, yep. And then the cups, so water signs, so Scorpios, Cancers, Pisces, yeah. And there's, emotional. So cups, let's skip over to cups here, because they're the very emotional ones. And if you're looking for a really loving and emotionally in touch person, you're probably hoping to get a cup card in the reading. You know what I mean? But if you like really direct focus, intent, and passion, and this would be my style here. Even though I'm a Taurus, so I'm an earth, but this is my style here. Do you know what I mean? So what's your style, Ashley?
I'd go a little bit between the pentacles and the wands.
Yeah, pentacles and the wands.
A little bit of both.
Okay, all right, pentacles and wands. None of us are hitting on the air over here.
I don't want anybody to talk to me.
Guy, what do you like? Like to chat about sex?
That's funny. I would like to think that I'm like the wands, but I'm probably more into cups.
Oh, you think you're more emotional? Yeah, with he's got a Scorpio Venus. So you really need to look at people's Venus and Mars to really understand sexually what they're going to be like, romantically what they're going to be like. And you want to look at the moon as well, because that's emotionally what they're going to be like. So in a person's chart, just because their sun sign something doesn't mean, like they could be compatible with you if the Venus, Mars, or moon are compatible, or a couple of those, or all three of those would be amazing. Right?
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So Ashley, what if a person was asking a question and the person in question was a woman and it came up as a king?
That actually happens quite often because a lot of men or masculine energies will come up as a queen, or a lot of women or feminine energy will come up as a king.
Yep.
So it just describes the essence of the card. Like, let's, for instance, go the Queen of Swords.
Yep.
A man could easily come up as that because he's a little bit bitey, let's say, with his words.
Judgmental,
whereas,
maybe.
A lady could come up as the king, and she's a little bit more direct. Right? And that goes the same for same-sex relationships or our transgender relationships as well. It doesn't actually mean the man or a woman. It just means the energy they present.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How they're carrying their energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the core cards definitely fun in the reading.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it could even be stages of a relationship. Sometimes we'll even get a card, like a court card, actually describing where you're at with somebody.
Yeah.
And it's not talking about a person at that time. It's actually talking about what stage
the relationship is sitting at.
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely don't want your relationship sitting here for too long.
No, you don't want, the baby stages, the infant stages, and then teenage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Queens and kings are kind of where we want to be.
Yeah, you want to be if you're over 35.
Lasting.
Yeah. And or if you want a really stable, long-lasting. Yeah, exactly. Kind of the queens are work in progress.
Yep.
And these might
kings
be
are
more...
mastered.
Right, mastered, they say. So mastered, you could even go mastered. And this could even be sexually mastered something. If you were asking about their sexual prowess and they came up as a king of something.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then then you scrap the ages and you're just looking for degrees of... intensity and or ways that they're using their sexual energy.
Yeah.
So this would be like a journeyman,
Yeah.
like work in progress, right? But having done the work, so they're doing the work. And this is just getting started here with so the knights just getting started, queens, journeyman, and then masters with the kings, and then babies.
Just the babies, just the idea.
Infants, yeah. So that's a really old school way of understanding it. And all the books are going to go in that direction.
Yeah.
But nowadays, and Guy just pointed this out to us, and it totally makes sense. Nowadays, the queens and the kings obviously are both sitting in a very accomplished place, and they could both be the masters, but masters in different kind of energy, like kings being more outward, so the more masculine, interpretation of energy. Okay, and that doesn't mean they have to be men to get the card, of course. It's just the interpretation of how they're using the energy. And the queens in a more receptive sort of energy sense. Yeah. So so many, like we're really changing the way we're reading these, because remember these cards, and in particular this deck, was original drawings apparently came from the Renaissance. So you got to remember and take into consideration some of those old ideas about, how they were used, hey?
Yeah, or the man-woman factor back in the day.
Right. So just keeping up to date with the way we're reading and just using them as energies is kind of what I'm hoping I'm trying to do anyway with my readings.
Love it.
Who would you say you were, Ashley?
Oh, who I...
Yeah, like which one of these is you archetypally?
I go right for my Queen of Wands.
Queen of Wands, yeah. Well, I often do come up as the Queen of Pentacles.
I could definitely see
I
that.
almost always come up as her. Yeah.
I'm the Queen of Cups.
Guy's the Queen of Cups. Oh, that's fun.
I'm the drama queen. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. So we got a question here. Who is the most horny? Okay, you can guess who asked this question. And yes, it was Guy. Who is the most horny in this, like archetypally? And who would be the most sort of reserved? And he said the word frigid, but...
Yeah.
Right?
Let's go reserved.
Let's go with reserved. Okay, so I'm going to say King of Wands. What do you think, Ashley? For horny.
It would definitely be
Or dog, king of
between the king and the knight.
Oh,
the
right,
knight would
the
definitely be
knight.
like...
Player.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, he's the player
Whereas
for sure.
The king's mastered that.
Yeah.
He's a little bit past that horny stage.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say the most two reserved, I'm going to give it both the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords.
Yeah.
I think they're standoffish a little. Yeah.
You're lucky if you get it once a month with those ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Yikes. Okay. You know what's funny? That this is I got to be honest, and I hope nobody's watching that considers themselves the Knight of Cups, because they're my least favorite dudes. And I'll tell you why. Sorry, Knight of Cups. Someone loves you for sure. But my problem there is that they're just too wishy-washy, and they're all like, they want to like read you poetry and stuff. It's like, please, if you're trying to date me, don't read me poetry. Like, no, not going to work. I kind of like the Knight of Wands, so that young bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And or I'm actually trying to move at 58. It's time for me to move into the King of Wands territory. These are my dudes here. Those two. Yeah. Those are my guys there. What about you, Ashley?
I like my King of Pentacles.
She likes the King of Pentacles.
King of Wands is cool too.
Yeah.
But
Ooh,
I like a good King of Pentacles personally.
He's what? Because he's snuggly or?
Just a caretaker and snuggly, and would love to go traveling.
Okay. Know? He's the type that really likes to stay in a nice hotel, not camping.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I could stand a little camping every once in a while if it was with the King of Wands myself. Okay. What about you, Guy?
The Knight of Cups.
Yeah, that's
of course,
romantic types. Okay.
What do I like? What do you think I like?
Okay. What does Guy like? Okay, and it's women you date, Guy?
Yep.
Yeah. He dates women. So let's have a look. Well, you gotta ask.
When they want to date me.
Right? Okay. I'd say he really likes the Queen of Swords.
That's a frigid one.
No, she's just covering it up. She's like behind closed doors hot, I bet.
She's direct.
Yeah, and she's really direct, and she likes to give orders.
Yeah, give orders.
Yeah, she's like, that's what I like.
I'm going with that one too.
Really?
Yep.
She's a little mean and can be judgmental. Yeah, we think you like that guy.
Camera's on me right now.
Sad face.
Guy's got a sad face right now. So we thought we'd do a reading on somebody's love life and see which one of these cards come up, and or if any of them, or how just have a look
How they
at.
represent.
Should we use the whole deck? Yeah.
Should we?
I
Why
think
not?
so.
Let's
Yeah.
see what comes up.
Yeah, let's see what comes up. So
Okay.
we're going to need the deck. Boom, right over there. Now we're going to have to mix them in really good. And I wonder if Guy would indulge us. Guy, would you indulge us? We'd like to do a reading on your love life.
Since we're so judgy on
Yeah, so yes.
All right.
So we're
Your
so
turn, go.
curious. So what we want to do is your next, because you're not involved right now, is that true, Guy? Okay, so when someone isn't now, people think, oh, how can I do a love life reading if I'm not involved? Oh, yeah, you can. Who is your future partner? What are they like? What to look for? What are you going to be like with them? Things like that. So I got a really great layout. We
Or
can have a
who's
really
just
good
around.
look. Yeah, who's around? Well, we could just do the Kachina knife.
Yep.
Yeah, and look at who's around and who's liking on Guy that he doesn't even know about. What are they like, right?
I'm coming in.
He's coming in.
He's
Yay!
coming in.
Okay, Guy, you got to shuffle these babies. Because you want the
Oh my
client
God.
to shuffle.
I don't want to do this.
Yes,
They're
you do.
forcing me.
You didn't see us force them, did you?
Begrudgingly, he says.
No.
Okay, so what? Future?
Yeah, your future next big partner. Okay, I'm going to cut them and Ashley's going to stack them. So we're all going to have our intuitive input here.
A, B, or C.
Middle. Please.
Okay, and Ashley, you put them out in a Kachina knife facing. Yep. So this is representing the partner because I always put the feminine on this side and Guy said he dates women. So we're going to put the female here, the next woman. We're going to put...
Oh,
Guy, isn't that funny? Guy said he comes up as the Queen of Cups.
look at that.
See, he's archetype. So the woman around him, well, she's not around yet, would make sense to the Five of Wands,
Yep.
right? Okay, let's look at, this is the past. Oops, sorry.
Our 10 of Cups.
Yeah, we got the Ten of Cups. So, yeah, we'll talk about that in just a minute. The Two.
Mm.
And
Okay.
the outcome. The Five.
Going back.
Couple of fives there. Three. I think there's some things to do here. Ooh, check it out.
Okay.
Yeah. The advice is interesting.
I like the advice. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
This feels a little held up. What do you think?
It doesn't even look like he's really looking.
Yeah, like I feel like I feel like
Am I right?
A little, well,
this
yeah,
is in the
yeah.
atmosphere, Guy. It's like he's too busy. We keep him really busy on the show
Yeah,
here.
really busy.
Is he
Yeah.
juggling the two of
He's
them?
really
No.
busy. Or, yeah, is he juggling too? That is
Two?
another way we could read that. But I think that would come up here if that was the case,
That's true, yeah.
right? It's in the atmosphere. So too much busy
Hmm.
and or not even sure what exactly it is you want. And if you want something, he wants it, he doesn't want it.
Mhm.
Could you be juggling that idea?
Yep.
Yeah. And then so I feel like there is somebody around, but they're quite frustrated. And or even several frustrated people that you've kind of left in the wings there. So a lot of people interested, because all those wands could be interests.
Wow.
I think people fight over Guy. Yeah, because they're all like fighting each other for him.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think you're so busy and so focused on what you're doing here in your creative process. Look at how focused that queen is on her creative process. So the cup could be her creative process or her own emotional feelings. Okay, that he doesn't have time, really.
Yeah.
And and it's been a while, I think, since you really connected with someone. Is that true, Guy? Because the 10 is like sort of the ending, and you really also wanted to change, it looks like, how you chose partners going forward, because this is an ending. So it's like maybe you didn't want to be in a certain place anymore.
Yeah, that's
That
actually
makes
very
sense.
accurate, yeah.
And here the near futures is
Yep.
a 5 as well. Now 5s are temporary setbacks. So I feel like it will take time for this to manifest. And these two are advice. How would you read those two, Ashley, for advice?
I don't know. They're pretty sexy.
Yeah.
Right? We got the Three of Wands.
Uh-huh.
So we're on to something new. And then the Knight of Wands.
Yeah.
Which is our fiery
Yeah.
man.
Doesn't that look like he needs to take more action and
get himself
put down,
out there?
Yeah, he's got to get himself out there, or it will take a while to manifest a partner. Okay, now let's pull one more on, well, who is that? Whoa! Guy, do you like him younger? We got, or very youthful. Very intelligent, very youthful. We got the Page of Swords. And I said, who would ideally, what does the universe think about this? And we've got the Knight of Cups. So he could look for someone slightly younger, but not way, way younger like that. And or too immature over here with that Page of Swords. That's kind of who's going after him. I feel like stay open to someone just slightly younger. Okay, but is really emotionally in touch and very creative like yourself, because Guy's very creative. But emotionally in touch spiritually, because Cups can be very spiritual and emotionally in touch. And even a bit of a poet. Yeah, I got this poet sort of, creative poet, or even a painter. I almost feel like maybe a painter. And we've got the Page, but very adventurous with all kinds of sort of a little spice over here, sexy and adventurous. Nice. Yeah, and could really really wants to be. I feel like this person really wants to be inspired, especially spiritually. And I feel like that would be really appealing for you, Guy. They want to be spiritually inspired and creatively inspired. And they're open to you being a bit of a teacher to them. And not all relationships work well with that kind of dynamic, but I got a feeling that could work here.
So is this the person that you mentioned that already likes me?
No. There's all these people that like you. We pulled.
This Page of Swords?
They're young. I feel like this is what the universe says to wait for. And it feels like it's down the road and you need more time on your hands for this. And this page is over on this side. So this was like, who are all these people fighting over him? They're all too young and immature. You seem to attract that. And I feel like you're done with that. You want to go over here.
On to the next level.
He's got to move over here. Does that make any sense?
Yep.
So let's ask a when on that. If he opens up, so there's always like advice in readings. And here's the thing that people don't always it's not a given this will happen. He needs to do the stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So the stuff in this case is, Three of Wands, make some more time in his life because it doesn't look like he has time. Okay. And then actually get out there a little tiny bit more, right? Because it doesn't look like he's out in the right places here. Just get out a little more in social settings. That's what that feels like. Okay. So how long would that take? Whoops. Oh boy. So 10. So that could be weeks. For me, wands are weeks. 10 weeks. So you could make this happen fairly quickly, but until you make a few changes and make a little room in your life, Guy, it feels like you just got all this frustrating kind of noise over here that doesn't really suit you, really. Yeah, but this is really close.
I'm like,
it's there.
If you wanted. 10 weeks.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Guy.
You're welcome.
That was super fun.
It was fun. And
Thanks,
we got
Ashley.
a lot of court cards that came up.
We sure
so that
did.
was beautiful.
Yeah, we sure did. Good. Thanks, everybody. And if you're enjoying the videos, do like and share and
Subscribe.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.